Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
Low-cost gas stations are proliferating. Although the flagship gas stations have lowered their prices to be more competitive, low-cost service stations continue to be the fastest growing and the ones that attract the most new customers, especially since the price of fuel has risen so much. However, there is still a large number of consumers who distrust their products because they believe that the fact that a fuel is cheaper implies that it is also of poorer quality. What is the reality or the myth in all this? Here is a brief and simple explanation. Remember that there are now 20 cents off per liter at all gas stations, regardless of their positioning. Same fuels, but different additives and structural costs. Compañía Logística de Hidrocarburos, better known as CLH, is the only official distributor of gasoline and diesel in Spain. In other words, all the fuel of these types marketed in our country comes from the same source. Therefore, the most economical gas stations are supplied with fuels of identical origin and at the same cost as the most expensive ones. Thus, the difference in prices between service stations is due to other reasons that have nothing to do with the quality of the hydrocarbons, which, fortunately for the consumer, are certified and extensively controlled, traced, to avoid fraud of any kind. So, how do they differ? There are two fundamental factors: different additives. Each company develops its own additives, chemical products that are added to the fuel to improve the performance, efficiency and useful life of the engine and its components. This series of stabilizers, anti-knock agents, detergents, preservatives and lubricants, among others, improve combustion and the cleanliness of the propellant, especially injectors and parts susceptible to corrosion. Although all gasoline and diesel sold in Spain meet the same specifications and minimum quality standards, additives are not the same, and can make a difference in the performance of a car. Sometimes, fuels from low-cost gas stations are not additivated or these compounds are much less studied, which results in a reduction of their costs that is transferred in the form of a lower price for the customer. Different business. Companies that sell fuel at low cost conduct their business through automatic dispensers that serve fuel after payment at a cash dispenser, sometimes self-payment. With few exceptions, these types of stations have little or no staff. This saving in hiring employees is reflected in the final price. In exchange, it is the consumer who fills up his tank and not a worker. In addition, they have fewer refueling points, which means lower maintenance costs, and these pumps are usually simpler than at flagship gas stations. The land on which they are located is also cheaper, generally further away from major roads and less accessible. However, low-cost gas stations are subject to the same periodic controls as other service stations. In conclusion, while low-cost gasoline may seem appealing at the pump, it's essential to consider the potential trade-offs in quality. Factors such as additives, refining processes, and storage conditions can impact fuel performance and engine health. Ultimately, the choice between price and quality depends on individual priorities and driving habits. By staying informed and making thoughtful decisions, you can ensure that you are getting the best value for your fuel without compromising on quality. Thank you for watching, and we hope this discussion has helped clarify the relationship between gasoline price and quality.